Keto Nana, over 50 and overweight. Hey y'all, Keto Nana here. If you're over 50 and overweight, you are part of a very large and expanding, pun intended, group in the US especially. I've read studies that show that for men ages 50 to 54, 80% of them are overweight or obese. And before y'all ladies start patting yourselves on the back, by the age of 60 to 64, 73% of us are overweight or obese. So if you're in a group of 3 ladies, 2 of you are at least overweight. So what do I mean by overweight? What are the measurements they're using to determine this? They're using the body mass index, the BMI. So overweight is 25 to 29, and obese is 30 to 39. I've also seen a study that looks at sort of a decade view of weight in America from the 1960s through 2000. And I will post the links in the bottom so you can take a look at that because it's very interesting. It's alarming and disturbing, but it's interesting. And I think it's important to have the facts and to know where we stand. You can't change if you don't know what's going on. No more head in the sand for us. Anywho, they look at the decades, and of course, each decade, the overweight percentage is increasing, the obesity percentage is increasing. And there's another category that I'm calling super obese, which I don't think that's actually what they call it, but that's a BMI of 40 plus. So there's a huge, considering America's a huge country, a lot of people, there's quite a few of them, super obese people roaming around the country. Well, I guess they're not actually roaming. They're probably pretty unhealthy. But you get what I'm saying is that in every area of obesity, it's growing. And so what this video is today is not to depress you and to make you think, oh, there's no hope. I'm just going to be getting older and getting fatter, and there's nothing I can do about it. This video is actually to show you that there is a way. Since my name is Keto Nana, I'm going to be promoting the ketogenic lifestyle. But I want you to do your research for yourself, and I want you to, check it out and become convinced. And then my following videos will show you exactly how to do it, some pitfalls to avoid. So stay tuned and understand that we can beat this. We are going to beat this. So to start this off, I'm going to do a little survey a la Jeff Foxworthy. And if you know Jeff Foxworthy, he's the comedian who came out with the "You Might Be a Redneck If." So we're going to talk about you might be insulin resistant if. And so just follow along and see which ones apply to you. You might be insulin resistant if you have excessive abdominal girth. So if you carry your weight in your belly, what do they call it in the South? Dunlap disease, my belly Dunlap over my belt. You might be insulin resistant. If you have been, have a history of yo-yo dieting, me for 40 years been yo-yo dieting, you might be insulin resistant. If diets that used to work for you are no longer working for you, you might be insulin resistant. If you've had, blood work on for your annual physical and your doctor has said the words pre-diabetic or mentioned like maybe you're on your way to type 2 diabetes, you might be insulin resistant. In fact, you probably are. And this is not something that comes up often in conversation, but if you've had medical testing for whatever reason, and they mention that you have a fatty liver is like very associated with insulin resistant because when your body doesn't know where else to put that, you have all that excess glucose that's not getting into your cells, your body needs to convert it into something. It starts kind of covering your organs in fat. So if you have a fatty liver, you're insulin resistant. And here's one that I just heard, and so I'm not 100% sure if this is true or not, but I guess if you've ever had gestational diabetes, which I did with one of my children, I guess I watched what I ate or whatever. I can never handle the glucose test. I always got very ill with all that sugar. But that's apparently another indication that you might at some point develop, insulin resistance or type 2 diabetes. So that's where we stand. That's what we have. So, why is America getting fatter? That's a question I was asking. Why am I getting fatter? That's actually a more relevant question to me. While I care about, all the people in the world, all sentient beings, um, I, I'm very interested in what's happening to me, and I'm not liking what's happening to me. I am gaining weight each year, and it's becoming more and more difficult to get the scale to move, down even a smidge and to stay down. So what's going on? Are all these people like lazy? Don't know how to follow a diet? Unmotivated? Um, just not doing it right? I don't think so. I mean, I really don't think so. I know from my own experience that, I would do the eat less, move more, watch my calories like a hawk, and not see the scale move. And when that happens to you over and over again, you do have an emotional response like, what, why bother? So there may be, 1% that just eats whatever they want, but on the other hand, they probably have a sugar addiction. So, is it really their fault? We've been told by experts, that low fat is good. We are surrounded by carby processed foods. They're the cheaper foods too. So if you're on a budget, it's hard to eat healthy on a budget. Diet sodas or sugary sodas, fruit juices, fruits, they all have a lot of sugars. And when you're insulin resistant, it's not going to work for you. So I don't honestly think that everybody just doesn't know how to do it. I think that our information that we've been given by nutritional experts and doctors for years and years and years, even though the studies have shown, like since the 60s and earlier that fat does not make you fat. Low carb is much healthier. And like the increase with carbs and sugary things, type 2 diabetes, insulin resistance, obesity, they're all hand in hand, and they're all getting larger and larger as time goes on. So I don't think that it's that we're doing anything wrong. I think that we've been told wrong stuff. Another myth, that dieting myth that we've been told is that, eat 6 meals a day. Well, eating 6 meals a day means that even if you're like within a calorie limit, whatever your calorie limit is, that's 6 times that your insulin spikes. Each time you eat, your insulin spikes. So you're eating 6 times, your insulin spiking all the time. Your body never has time to get out of the burning, creating glucose, using glucose to fuel your cells. And your body is inherently lazy, so it's going to use the glucose. Dr. Jason Fung has a great book out called The Obesity Code, and I also read Gary Taubes' The Case Against Sugar. And so those are really good books to kind of enhance your knowledge of what's going on and kind of the erroneous information we've been given. Out of diseases or epidemics or plagues, whatever you want to call it, obesity is like the only one that's going on right now where it seems to be okay to blame the victim. And in fact, like there are all sorts of instances of, just sort of weightism, I guess, and it's definitely okay to blame the victim in obesity and overweight. It's like obviously they're doing something wrong. They're weak, and that's not true. Most people I know that are overweight are trying really hard. They're just eating the wrong things, right? They're low fat, maybe too much protein, and they're prescribing themselves to eat less, to move more, and it's just not going to work. Plus, once you've hit your mid-40s, you have your hormonal issues, such as menopause coming on for women or menopause for men. I went into menopause really early, and I noticed that from my 40s on, it was very, very difficult to lose anything. So do the readings, the Obesity Code, Case Against Sugar. Gary Taubes has another one, I think Why We're Fat. I'm about to read that one. And also look at the Jason Fung's videos. He explains it really well, really graphically. One of the images that he has that's really stuck in my head is sort of the refrigerator freezer syndrome, or example where we're constantly eating out of the refrigerator. That's the glucose. That's the carbs we're eating. breaks down its glucose. All your cells in your body, use your glucose. Love it. It's easy. You never get to the freezer where your fat is. And so the only way to get to that freezer is to go very low carb, high fat, where you change from glucose burner to a fat burner, become fat adapted. And then you begin with intermittent fasting, and which will be another video that I'll do. But for right now, to get started, very low carb, high fat is the way to go. I've been on ketogenics for 7 weeks. I've had my ups and downs. I've done some things wrong, and I'll have a video on 5 things that'll kick you out of ketosis. And I've still managed to lose 9 pounds, which is phenomenal. And more than that is I've lost inches. I can see it in my clothes. My clothes are looser. Clothes, shirts that I haven't been able to wear are fitting me comfortably, not like sausage skin. I'm definitely losing inches and pounds, and I'm not hungry. I'm not feeling starved because on a high-fat diet, that satiety is done. So the 2 benefits, there's many benefits of the very low-carb, high-fat diet, especially for somebody who's 55, which I am, and who has a lifetime of improper eating habits and misconceptions about eating right. The fat part really I had to work with. I'm losing weight. I'm feeling better. I'm not starving because fat keeps you full. And I can see benefits, and I'm going to see that this can progress, and we're going to do it. So 7 weeks, 9 pounds. That puts me right at 30.1 for the BMI, which is right into the obese category. I'm like right in it. My goal, my short-term goal, is to get into the overweight category. That's like, woo, overweight. But I am looking forward to being overweight, not obese. And then the long-term goal is to be at a healthy weight. I'm not so sure the BMI is completely the way to go. I think for us right now as overweight, over 50 people, that's good enough for now until we get into closer to the healthy weight. And then you might want to do like the caliper test, go to professional and have that tested, because that's really going to be more accurate. Numbers, we're all individual. We're all created differently. Our bodies are organized slightly differently. And so really 25 BMI may not be overweight for you, may be totally fine. So you really need to, as you get closer, but we're a long way from that, and we're going to take it one step at a time. I'm in it to win it. I want everyone I know to be healthy. I want to have energy. I want to live forever. I want to do stuff with my grandkids. I want my husband. I want to travel. And I want to be comfortable having pictures taken, and I want to be comfortable in my clothes. So in it for the long haul. We did not get fat or overweight in a day, in a week, a month. It took years, years of improper doing what we thought was best. So we have to be kind to ourselves. We have not effed up. We are not guilty here. This is a safe environment. So in it to win it. I want everyone to come along on the journey with me as we shed the pounds and get healthier and, live the life that we were meant to live. So I hope you join me. Please subscribe if you found this helpful. Click on the little bell so that you can get notified when I post new videos. And until next time, take care of yourself.